Well, I went into the hospital because I was having a lot of pressure, and they did an LP and they said definitely your pressure is high. What we recommend is you to have a BP shunt. But at that time, I had what they called a stroke in the eye or something.
Yes.
So I really didn't want to be there. I wanted to come back home. So I really didn't think about the BP shunt at the moment. I had already lost the eye, so I'm like, no. I was scared. I went to the eye doctor again, and he said because of the high pressure in the brain, and they did MRI, CT scans, and he also said definitely you have to get the BP shunt because otherwise you're going to be losing the vision from your other eye, your left eye.
Right.
So little by little, I was losing the vision. So I decided to get the BP shunt. I got the BP shunt in July 3rd
of
2014. And 15 days after that, I still continue to have pressure problems. And I told my doctor, and they did another LP, and they figured that my shunt wasn't working. So they did a revision of my BP shunt. And at that time, my vision was losing, I was losing vision again. So they said, okay, well, we're going to try a LP shunt, which is a same thing, but in the back.
Right.
They did that in February 21st of last year, and it didn't work. I started, having more problems with my vision. The seizure continued, and on November 14th, I was already in the hospital because I went in on November 9th. And on November 14th, the doctor said, you're going into surgery tomorrow, which was on November 15th. That Saturday, November 14th, I lost my vision completely. So I went into surgery with no vision, came out of surgery with no vision. But when I did the pre-op shower, I was taking the shower and I felt pressure in my eye, like if something popped. And that's when I lost my vision completely.
In both eyes?
Yes.
This was in the left eye now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What surgery were you going into?
The revision of the revision of the LP. They said before I even went in, on November 9th, that's when they did an LP, and they said my pressure was high. It was 56, and they said definitely it was really high. So they let me flat for 2 hours after the LP, and I was complaining of headache again, and they said that my pressure might have gotten back again because my shunt wasn't working.
At that time, what was the next step? What did the ophthalmologist tell you?
Well, my eye doctor had told me that I wasn't going to get my vision back. Once I lost it, I wasn't going to get it back. Because he was getting me being tested every time I go, and I didn't have no peripheral vision anymore.
Did they talk about disability and all of that?
Yes, I was in disability. Well, I got disabled in May. I was found disabled by the disability office in May. Now, in January 7th, I was approved to go to a nursing home, a nursing facility. They said I couldn't take care of myself or my kiddos because of the seizures and because I was blind.
When you first lost your eyesight, what were your fears? What went through your head?
Well, I came out of the hospital pretending that I was able to see. I didn't use my white cane. I was ashamed. I didn't want my kids to know.
my kids would come and say, Mom, look, I got a certificate at school, honor roll. My daughter would say, Mom, I did my hair. How do I look? And I would say, you look gorgeous. Oh, congratulations. But I didn't tell them Mommy is blind. Mommy can't see you. I would hide my white kink. I asked my social worker to have somebody come in and talk to my kiddos. And they did. They came to talk to them, and they told them that if they knew what was going on. And what did you know that they did? They knew. They knew that Mommy couldn't see, but their answer was that they needed to be strong for me. They said that they needed to have their house clean, that they couldn't have anything on the floor, because if they had their shoes, if they had their toys on the floor, I could have fallen. And to hear them say that, it broke my heart. It just, I'm over here thinking, I don't want to tell them, and they already knew. They were over there thinking about what to do. It was hard.
Everything started, it was on a Friday that I heard in the Spanish news that you guys had the rallies of St. Sharbel in St. Joseph's Catholic Church. And my kiddos haven't gotten here from school, so I was, I couldn't write the address down or anything. I didn't, they would have said the address, so I could have written it down. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to go, because I heard a testimony about this lady saying that her son was blind from birth, and that he was able to see. And at that moment, I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't blind from birth. What if I go? But I was like, oh, well, I can't get the address. My kiddos are not here. So I was like, oh, okay, there it goes. But then my sister-in-law calls my husband and says, hey, I heard that they have the relics. We don't know, of St. Sharbel. We don't know exactly who he is, or we don't know where the church is, but hey, take her. Take her on Sunday, because they're going to have a mass in Spanish at 3 o'clock. And my husband's like, don't they have mass right now? And she's like, well, they do, but it's in English. And he's all like, well, I'll take her right now. She knows English. And so it was 6 o'clock, and we were there. We picked up my sister-in-law. We were there from 6 o'clock till 11. And when we got there, when I had my sister-in-law take me inside the church, once I walked in, I said, you know what, I'm here. I'm giving in. Please help me. Not only for me, but for my kids. Please hear me out. I don't know who you are, but please help me. That day I had my daughter with me, and we stayed for the healing mass. And my sister-in-law said, I'm going to take you in. If they do confessions, I'm going to take you in right now. And so she did. And then Father, we saw him, prayed for me, and he put the holy oil on me. And he said that he'll be praying, and that I was going to get my vision back. And my sister-in-law said that he told my daughter, your mommy loves you, and your mom's going to see you again. And when Father was praying for me, my sister-in-law said that he was standing on my left side, and I started feeling
something on my right side. Ever since then, I started feeling my body differently. I went to Mass on Sunday, and it was, I took my blessing, and I felt the same way like I felt on Saturday. My husband kept on asking, does your head hurt? I said no. There is just, I couldn't just explain what I was feeling, because I didn't even know what I was feeling. So Sunday goes by, and it was like my husband said it was about 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. Martin Luther King's Day, on the 18th. When I tell my husband that my eyes were burning. I'm like complaining that my eyes were burning. And he's all like, it can't be. You don't have any sensation in your eyes. It can't be. I'm like, well, I feel it. I feel my eyes are burning and they hurt. And the sensation you get, like when you get out of anesthesia, you really want to touch the spot that you just got fixed. Well, I was touching my head. I had a hat in my head and the other hand in my eyes, because I was like, they're burning. My eyes are burning. So my husband touches my eyes and he's all like, yeah, they're vibrating, they're moving. And he's all like, plus you have a smell like burned meat coming out of it. And then I'm like, I open my eyes and I'm like trying to see, and I'm like, I see you. And he's all like, no. And I'm like, yes, I see you. And I only see you with one eye. I see you with both of my eyes. And I just started crying. And I wiped my eyes and I see if I was able to see him again. And I was able, not clearly. It's just like shadows. But I know it was him. I know it was him, And then he turns on the light and the light bothered. But I couldn't see him clearly, but I knew he was there. Now, he's like, okay, are you sure you can see me? And I'm like, yes, I'm positive. But my eyes kept on hurting. My head kept on hurting. And then I started having like the nausea, like the vomiting type of thing. And I'm like, why am I feeling this way? I don't know if it was because I was nervous or I don't know why. And he's like, go back to sleep. He's all like, go back to sleep. We'll see in the morning what we need to do. I'm like, no, I'm scared. I'm not going back to sleep. So I had my white cane, and we had an app in my phone that would tell me the time and stuff. So I'm pressing the button, and it would tell me 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I'm like waiting for the time for me to call my doctors. 7 o'clock came, and I called the doctor's office, and I said, I need an appointment because I want to see the doctor. And the reason why, and I'm like, because I'm able to see. The lady said, we have in our notes that you're blind. What do you mean you're able to see? Yes, I'm able to see, and that's why I need the appointment. So she said, our next appointment would be for Tuesday. So they took me in, and they couldn't believe that I was walking by myself with no cane. They did the exam. I didn't have perfect vision at the time. I still had blurry vision. I didn't pass the test. Till 4 days later that they took me to do the retesting. That's when they said that my vision was almost perfect.
So you went down on the 26th. Tell us about that visit.
He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that I had vision from both of my eyes. Because it was 2 years that I lost my right eye, and and he couldn't believe that my eye was perfect. There was no damage. That he said it was perfect. Dr. Yannick is my eye doctor. and he told me that my right eye was perfect, that I had eyesight back, and my left eye as well.
Did he tell you about the optic nerve? That it looked...
Yeah, my optic nerves from both eyes were perfect, that there's no damage at all.
Did you get any treatment between the 19th when you saw him and when you went back on the 26th? Did he give you any drops or any medicine or anything?
No, he didn't give me no medication. He just told me, he's all like, and this time that I have of experience being an eye doctor, I've never seen somebody get their vision back like you did. And he's all like, the testing that I've done shows me that, he's all like, I'm not even going to say it because you know who healed you. He's all like, and now, what can I say?
In your opinion, Dafne, how can you explain this?
How can I explain this?
Who healed you?
God healed me. St. Sharbel healed me. Because I gave him, I asked him the day that I walked into that church. Like I said, I went in with faith. Like I've been saying all along. Faith, confession. I don't know how many different churches I went, how many times I asked God. And it seemed like he never heard me. You know, I would go in with this high faith and walk out like, okay, you didn't hear me. Why am I even bothering and going if you're not listening to what I'm saying? But that day was different. I was like, you know, he has to hear me. I know he is. And to find out that now that my kids told their teacher that they were going to do good in school, but they wanted me to be better, it breaks my heart too. Because they were willing to do anything for me to be better. That just shows me the love they have for me as well.
Where do you see your faith going from here on out?
Well, I mean, I just want to keep on telling everybody not to lose their faith. You know, God does exist. Just have faith. You know, confession. It's just, you don't lose hope.
How is the rest of your family reacted?
Well, my family members, they all, like, I was the one that didn't really have the faith, but then they never lost it. They really have faith in God, and they're like, we told you. You're the one that needed to have faith. You're the one that needed to ask God.